Hello, so this is a recording of some strategies to help students with their revision. I teach sociology, and in sociology, we have about 180 names over our 3 papers and over the 2-year period. And these are some of the strategies I found to really help our students with their revision. The first is we have to plan the revision. So we have to tell them, I find very specifically, exactly what they need to revise every single week. And I'll just move towards this tab and show you. Oops, this one. So you'll see here, we very much specifically tell the students exactly what to revise. So we use these colour coordination. So you have to revise these two for next week. And then we give them what we call a mini mock on one of those grids. Then the next week, we tell them what to revise. And we do that so that they're told exactly what to revise each week. And it feeds into our cross-college full paper mocks. So they've been told every week what to revise, and they're given some form of assessment that week on those grids that they revise. We call them mini mocks. So, for example, it might be a 15 marker, it might be a big 40 marker, or just because of workload and time as well to get through the curriculum. What we also find is we just give them kind of tests on the key names, but very specifically exactly what to revise every single week until it feeds into these full paper mocks. What I find is students find the task of revising really, really overwhelming. So just to give you context, this is all of our content. These kind of giant grids and packs is everything they need to revise for 3 exams, along with obviously 2 other subjects. So we find we have to tell them what to revise each week to support them in their organisation of their revision. Otherwise, I find they get really, really overwhelmed and don't really know where to start. And obviously, specifically in the second year, we want them to be revising from week 1, and this is how we can ensure that they revise. The second thing is we have to model in the lessons exactly how to revise. So every lesson, they start off with a multiple choice quiz on all of the names they've done so far. And then in the lesson, they have to revise on their whiteboards for really a total of 20 minutes. So I'll put on the board exactly the sociologists and the colour from the pack or grid that they're from. And on the whiteboards, they'll be given 10 minutes to revise in silence to write out what they said. Then they'll turn over the whiteboard and brain dump. Back again for another 10 minutes of revision, and then a final brain dump. So we physically use lesson time to model exactly what the students should be doing in terms of revision or a really good strategy. And then this means I find that we're meeting a real skills need that we have in our area, which is we've increasingly find the students aren't equipped to know how to revise effectively and to be able to kind of recall and use really effective revision strategies. I generally find the use of the whiteboards and modelling it with them is really important. I also always remind them that cognitive load is normally 3 to 4 names. So once they've done 3 or 4 names, they need to stop, go on the other side of the whiteboard and try and retrieve that information. After they've done that, obviously they do that every lesson with me. After they've done that, then we apply it. So we apply it then to an exam question, be it a paragraph. We can do it as they do. So we might do on some of our little 5 markers. So they do it for 8 minutes based on the revision they've just done, or we might do it as a we do. So really, in terms of revision, we want them to revise the names, retrieve them, and then apply them to an exam question. And we model that in the lesson just to ensure that really they can do it effectively, and then they're upskilled to revise really well. I found pretty much, I think all of my second years have now purchased whiteboards and used the whiteboards at home because they found that that is a really effective way to revision, because the whiteboards, you're doing kind of 10 minutes of revision and then you're retrieving. It's the retrieval that really helps with the revision. Finally, when we eventually have to let them loose, because obviously we do, what we do is, so again, I'll show you, this is the content. This is a list of everything they need to know, all of the packs, all of the grids. Really for us, it's all grids. And by this point, when they get to that Easter revision, that's when I have to let them loose. It's by this point where myself and my colleague Harris have each week told them what they have to revise, and obviously again linked it into mini mocks or assessments to check their revision. But by Easter we have to let them go. So we make them put in there from these sections exactly what they're going to revise when. And again, we do it in a lesson. So they decide what they're going to revise for Easter, the first week, the second week, and then every week after it. Again, I provide them what I would do if I was them. This is the grids I would revise in this order. Most of them will want to imitate what I would do. Some of them will tweak it. But I find that our weaker learners will generally want, again, more of that guidance, which is perfectly fine, because it really helps them. And then we put in the exam dates. But by this point, we still work with them to help support them in what revision they have to do each week. And we've had it modelled so that when they are at home, they're using their whiteboards, they're going back through it, they're brain dumping, they're retrieving it, and then they're applying it to an exam question. So I'm greenlighting my classrooms for the next 2 weeks, or really just let me know anytime. Just pop in. The first half an hour is always revision. More than happy to welcome anyone in. If you want to discuss it, yeah, would really love a professional conversation. So as always, I'm always grateful for your time. Thank you.